welcome to Book Lab TV. Just chilling out, and this episode will be about the one thing in my jacuzzi. Uh, let me let me figure out the trying to see some. This is cool, pretty cool. I think the bubbles are nice. I love the bubbles. Pretty interesting. But I don't think that you would be able to hear me properly. That's why I have to focus on one thing. And the one thing right now is this book, The One Thing, written by Gary Keller with Jay Papasan. I'd highly recommend this book to anyone who is serious about improving any part of their life. This is a really, really interesting read. I would define what the one thing is based on my understanding. I would also give a few practical experiments carried out to prove the principle of the one thing in every aspect of the universe or any field. I would also give you reasons why people in general think doing one thing or focusing on one thing is a really bad thing. And I will give you the aspects stopping us from focusing on the one thing, and I will tell you my personal experiences about applying the one thing in different aspects of my life and how the workout turned out for me. And also I'll discuss aspects such as willpower, which affect the one thing. And at the end of this video, I will give a special giveaway, so stay tuned and listen carefully.
In my experience, what it took to win in the end was getting rid of everything else in life and really focus on the one thing, or two things actually, which was family and winning the next race. And so even in the last year, for example, I deleted Facebook. I didn't read news anymore. I didn't do anything except trying to win the next race. So even when I was at home, how can I recover the best? How can I train the best to prepare again for the next race, but whilst being still as fresh as possible? Nutrition, studying how to sleep with a jet lag doctor, absolutely everything. And I think that really helped me then. In the last year, especially in 2016, it helped me to get to my very, very best level, and I don't think I could ever be better than that. That's really something that I learned a lot. It's to simplify life and really find the focus in life.
All right. So my understanding of the one thing simply is that in everything we do in life, there is always there are many things which are important, but there is always one thing which is more important than many other things. So the main example or the main proven test of the one thing is the Pareto principle. This simply was a research carried out a long time ago, and which simply proved that 20% of the people owned about 80% of the land, But then Pareto applied this principle to almost everything else, and you realize that in almost every field, 20% of the people, for example, in sports, dominate 80% of the sport. Take football, you have Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar. You take golf, you had Tiger Woods. You have McElroy now. Take basketball, you had Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Take religion, you have particular people in particular religious positions. Take nutrition, food, you have top chefs. So in every single domain, 20% of the people always, or sometimes 10 or 5, seem to always do or own or achieve 80% of the results. So how does this apply to you or to me? In anything I am doing, I always try to find the one thing or the most important thing which would give me the highest results. This does not mean that I would not do other things. It just simply means that I would focus 80% of my attention on the important things and 20% of my attention on the not so important things. Okay, this is a clear distinction. So, for example, in business, in starting up a company, what is the most important thing? Sales, in my opinion, is the most important aspect, because if there is no revenue coming into the company, it doesn't matter how good of a programmer or how good of the products are or how great of a person you are. If you can't sell, there's no company. So don't get me wrong, there are many other important factors like accounting, like tech, like IT, but the most important thing is sales. So I normally divide my time 80% on sales and 20% on the other things which are important but not so important. And also the one thing just fell into the water. And also this book talks about the domino theory. The domino theory simply is that if you focus on one thing, for example, let's say you focus on for argument's sake, a company, let's say you focused on sales, and in sales, repeat selling is the 80% that brings in the revenue, while constant prospecting, which is simply getting in touch with clients to generate new business, only brings in 20%, usually, which might grow to become the 80%. Other examples are like Google, for example.
It's a very simple question in a way, but it actually speaks to how we think about our duty to the community here. You know, I really want to clear my life to make it so that I have to make as few decisions as possible about anything except how to best serve this community. And there's actually a bunch of psychology theory that even making small decisions around what you wear or what you eat for breakfast or things like that, they kind of make you tired and consume your energy. And my view is, you know, I'm in this really lucky position where I get to wake up every day and help serve more than 1 billion people, right? And I feel like I'm not doing my job if I spend any of my energy on things that are silly or frivolous about my life, so that way I can dedicate all of my energy towards just building the best products and services and helping us reach our goal and achieve this mission of helping to connect everyone in the world and giving them the ability to stay connected with the people that they love and care about. So that's what I care about. So even though it kind of sounds silly to, all right, that's my reason for wearing a gray t-shirt every day, it also is true.
For one thing, which is search. KFC is known for, in the beginning was known for one thing, chicken. You know, same thing with Nando's chicken, but obviously they have other side dishes which help the menu. And with the one thing, when you start small from one single aspect, that in time with practice and persistence and willpower builds up to become something a lot bigger. And the best way to describe this would be the domino theory. For example, if you push one domino, the one domino in itself could push 1,000 other dominoes and generate a force far greater than the initial push of the one domino. And usually one domino can push 1.5 times its weight, or the force it generates is 1.5 times its weight. So you start with a small peg and end up pushing a tree down. So this is a principle which most people who have achieved greatness in any field use, and which I try to use in my life. And how have I tried to use this in my life? I'll give you a simple example. Oh, my book is wet. It's really wet now. A simple example of this in my life has been math, for example. I know in the previous video I said my math is really bad, but let me qualify that statement because some people might take it out of context. I passed math in GCSEs, and I also have an accounting professional qualification. So my math is not that bad. I just do a lot better when it comes to written and describing things that I do with mathematics. And because I know that I'm better off at writing than computing stuff, I tend to focus most of my energy on the writing part, and I delegate my mathematics side to other people, and then I sort of check to make sure, because ultimately the responsibility falls on me. Second thing is I had a cupboard delivered to me, like this one, delivered to me once from my bedroom, and I tried to arrange the cupboard, but it took me 2 or 3 days because I wasn't patient. I ended up throwing it away, funny enough, but then I decided to buy another one, and this time around when the delivery guy came over, I said, hey, you know what, how much will it cost you to assemble this cupboard? And he was like, oh, 30 pounds. I'm like, okay, well, can you do that for me then? And I'll pay you 30 pounds. I said, yes. And then while he was doing it, I went online and I was working, and I made way more than 30 pounds in the 1 hour it took him to assemble the cupboard. I paid him 30 pounds, I had a cupboard, and I achieved a lot more in the 1 hour. So, could I have arranged the cupboard if I wanted to arrange it? Yes, I could have. It would have taken me maybe 6 hours or 10 hours, but I figured I make way more in 10 hours than I would in arranging a cupboard. So why don't I focus on the thing I'm good at and let somebody else who's good at something else do it? And obviously the myth of why people think doing one thing alone is not the best way to do things is because we've been brainwashed, or we grew up with the whole thing of multitasking. Multitasking is good, and this in itself encourages people to think, oh well, guess what? Why do I want to focus on one thing? I have to focus on many different things to achieve more. But the very act of multitasking is simply doing one thing and stopping and doing something else and starting again all over again. I'll give an example. A juggler juggling balls normally catches one ball at one time while throwing the other ball. So it's a stop and start mechanism. And this stop and start, imagine for example, I had to get a race with somebody who had 3 cars and I had 1 car, and I am a lot slower than they are, but then they have to jump into 1 car, drive 1 minute, stop, go get the other car, jump in, start, stop, and I just cruise slowly with 1 car. Imagine who would achieve more. I think I would. So this is the major myth about the one thing. Obviously, I mean, we multitask sometimes, but my intention here is about focus, about productivity. The most productive people are not the best multitaskers, and this has been proven by many experiments. And obviously, in focusing on the one thing, you're gonna lose out on a lot of different things. But in life, anyway, if you try to focus on many different things, you end up losing out on or doing each one halfway. So what I try to do in my life is understand that there are things I will miss out on, but I try to make sure that I focus on the most important things, and those important things would help to make my life a lot more fulfilling and refreshing. And right now, the one thing giveaway I was talking about was I have had this jacuzzi for, I don't know, probably 6-7 years now, and I tend to use it I don't know, probably once in 3 or once in 4 months or so. And I just thought, hey, what's the one thing to give away? It would be this jacuzzi. If this video goes viral, I don't know, 30 million views or 1 million subscribers within 2 years, the lucky subscriber gets this jacuzzi. The only problem with the jacuzzi is the electricity bill and the constant changing of the water, your water bill, which is not much. To me anyway, it's about £200 a month extra. But it's a joy to have, and I'd love somebody else to have it. But as you can see, everything works perfectly, and right now the one thing I have in mind to do is just to sit here, relax, chill, and thank you for watching Book Lab TV. Like, subscribe, and peace.